Alright. So yesterday, starting from the daily, my weekly drawn liquidity was this low over here. Yeah, go ahead. So my drawn liquidity was here, and if you look at the week, we had a Wednesday reversal, right? So you got the Wednesday reversal. I'm expecting once we have the weekly reversal, I'm expecting Thursday and Friday to continue towards the drawn liquidity, right? Now, Friday does TGIF as ICD said, like closing back inside the range, but he also said when the weekly drawn liquidity is not met, then Friday will not do the TGIF, it will continue towards the weekly drawn liquidity. And that was the idea for the trade. So the draw was not met. I was still bearish. Then I scaled down to the 4 hour. If you look, we had high of the day at 1800, right? Now I trusted this high of the day. We even had a SMT with the 22 with the Asia. It's not Asia high, but the Asia candle in London, right? So you got the SMT. Now I was trusting this as the high of the day since the drawn liquidity was lower, right? Now on Fridays you will see when the drawn liquidity is not met. Usually we have Asia high of the day because price don't have enough time to like range, then manipulate, and then distribute. It's Friday, they have to hit the drawn liquidity at any cost. So that's why I trusted this high of the day. And this SMT was also a confidence that we are not going over here for this high. Scaling on the 1 hour after the SMT, we got displacement, right? Taking out this low. So I like this reaction from the low that we displaced through that. And now, what was the key level? There was only one FEG on the 1 hour, right? That can be used as a key level. But I didn't choose the 1 hour key level since it was just this FEG and we were already inside it at 8 a.m. So I knew that we are inside my key level. But I have to choose another key level which is inside the 1 hour key level. So it would be more precise, right? Going into the 15 minute, we had this FEG in which we didn't tap basically, right? We didn't tap in this before 9 a.m. So this was the perfect key level for me. And also if we put out the FIPS, we never tap in the 50% before 9 a.m. This was the FIPS from the London high to the pre-market low. So this was my entry zone basically. This this fib and this FEG. Then I saw that 9 a.m. opens. It opened and opened high into the key level. Once I saw this, I dropped down to 1 minute. And over here, this candle that formed the yeah, my bad. So this candle over here, I shot it in this. Have you guys ever heard of the double tap theory? I don't know who made that, but it's good. Have you guys ever heard that? Alright. Enigma made it? Okay. So, over here we got the first tap over here. And this was the second tap, right? So, I think it was made by the DT guys, dynamic traders, but whatever. It's good. So, over here we got the first tap. Now what's the double tap theory? It's higher time frame key level, lower time frame double tap basically. Now in any key level, like any key level you pick, you will always see a lower time frame double tap in the higher time frame key level basically. So it was same thing over here, 50 minute FEG. Here we got the first tap at 9:02, and then we got the second tap at over here 9:04. But I didn't short here. Once the next candle opens, this is like a 12 soup model. That's why I didn't short on this candle. And then once the next candle opened, it opened high at first, I remember, and it 12 soup this. That's where I look for a little bit rejection and I enter over here. My stop was above this high and my TP was the pre-market low. I could have targeted my drawn liquidity as well, but it took too late to hit that. So yeah. Yeah, this was the trade. If look here, it was at the farmer rejection block. Yeah, over here. So yeah, this was the trade. Do you guys have any questions about this? How is the low? How is that low the weekly draw? If you look at NQ, they were equal low, no? Dang. Yeah. Or look, this was a shallow run, right? And price always comes back to shallow run. And even if you measure like when Friday opens, this was like the closest drawn liquidity it can go to. It already took this low in London, so that's why this was my draw. And this can be for the next week. This was August low, yeah. This low, August low, yeah. Plus, it's a very clean market maker sell model if you see. Yeah. Buy side of the curve and sell side of the curve. Is there any other entries aside from 9 to 9:15? No, I only trade between 9 to 10 a.m. I don't trade anything else. I can do one more trade breakdown if you guys want. You can choose one more trade. Okay, it's just been 9 minutes. This was the one I caught on low of the day, and this one was just a retracement shot. Which one you guys want? The 3 April or wait, what? No, this was 2 April, yeah. The 2 April one or the 3 April one? Wednesday. What did I? Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday. Let's start again. So, no, on Wednesday, my weekly drawn liquidity was this. As I said, I was bearish for the week, but I was waiting for the weekly manipulation in the weekly order block. Now it was daily order block, weekly FVG, yeah. So if you mark out the weekly FVG and the daily order block, which was this. No, I had a perfect key level. Wait. Yeah, this order block. Right, it just broke a different. Yeah, so this order block was my key level from where I was expecting the weekly reversal, and this was the weekly FVG. So I saw that when they open low, took this low out and formed the SMT. Now here most people will be bullish, right? They will think that the weekly manipulation is done because of major SMT on lows. But if you go on the high time frame weekly, you will see the drawn liquidity is still lower, and every candle is an open high. If you count from here to here, how much up close candles you see? Just one, right? Plus, this was an inside range candle, the week before last week. So whenever you have inside range candle, and so the range becomes very high probability. If you see now, we took the range high on 26 March, and then once the 31 March weeks opens, the first week of the April, we open low SMT. This SMT push price higher on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday we pushed higher into the key level, also doing a OTE of this range over here, and then we reverse. So this was my weekly half the week drawn liquidity, you can say, and this SMT was the reason we pushed higher. This was not the reversal SMT, it was just a retracement SMT. Going into the 4 hour, I saw that this was like a perfect trade. I saw 1800 open and range, and then we drop in London. My key level was this week's 50%. And why this week? This is the week of the Tuesday low, so it's a high probability week. It's the previous day low week. So this was my key level. I was expecting price to hit this in London. It didn't did. Now what's the next key time? 9 a.m. I was expecting this to get hit at 9, and then we reverse and we hit the key level. But my TP was this high since it was like clean drawn liquidity. Now all this move from Asia till 8 a.m. was just manipulation for me, right? I don't pay attention to any of this move. It was just manipulation. Then what? 9 a.m. opens. Over here, 8 a.m. puts in a fake low, basically 8:15. So everyone can think that the bottom is in and we are going to expand her, but we never close out above this candle, so right? So this was of course a fake low for us. We drop again. We hit the key level this time at 9:15. This is the 9 a.m. open. Yeah. So we hit the key level at 9:15. I still waited since I usually don't enter before 9:30. Usually, not always. Then I saw 9:30 open drop and took out the 9:15 low. Shallow run, but yeah, my key level was hit. Manipulation was done. 9:30 open and along. Once we roll soup this and we reject, my entry was over here. My stop below the 9:30 low. My TP was the Asia high. It was like this, and then I remember over here Trump speaks. We hit the key level with the manipulation. This was this Trump speak. We manipulate her, hit the key level, and then we just truly reversed for the rest of the week, and we kept dumping until the weekly draw was met. So there were two key levels basically, 1 and 2. One for the half of the week and one for the low of the week. I always mark my key levels before the week even opens. I even marked for the next week. If you see, I saw a reverse here. I marked the openings of the next week. I marked my key level number 1. And yeah, you guys can also do this if you want. But yeah, this was a trade. Any questions about this? Alright, if you guys have any questions about anything, you can ask 9 a.m. or anything. No problem, no problem. Thank you. So if you guys have no questions, I think this is it. No problem. I will upload the recording probably tonight, yeah.